When you're down and troubled and you need a helping hand, and nothing, oh, nothing is going right. Just close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up, oh, even your darkest night. Well, you just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running just to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, yes, and I'll be there, yes I will. Now ain't it good to know that you've got a friend, when people can be so, so cold. They'll hurt you and they can desert you. They'll take your soul if you let them. Oh, but don't you let them, no, no. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running just to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. And I'll be there, yes I will. And I'll be there, yes I will. You got a friend. Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday.
Good morning. I have the honor of starting this service off, and welcome everybody for our Sunday morning, even welcome for the people online. So I'm looking at this young man that's going to speak and saying, wow, a lot to follow. He's going to help me light the flames of faith, and I'm going to give him a proper introduction a little later. So what we're doing now is lighting the flames of faith. It's a call to service. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all people, that all faiths, all sentient beings come from one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. So as Dr. Thor lights the first candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony, equilibrium, and the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic tradition, honoring the beliefs and practice of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light the 10th candle for those who are as yet unaware of spirit in their lives and for the space we are holding for them here at the center. And as Dr. Thor lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
There is one flame that burns in our hearts. There is one light that shines through our love. We light this flame with faith. We light this flame with faith. We find this light within our own soul. There is one flame, one light within.
The oneness of life, that one divine presence, coming in so many different forms and in so many different ways. We are very grateful. I'm very grateful. And I truly know that the spiritual presence of life brings forth in this hour that we spend together an expanded understanding of our oneness, a greater experience of being one with all that there is. So as we move into this hour, which we are being blessed with a gift of music and a gift of message, we open our hearts and our minds and allow that which is being given to us through Spirit's presence, that we may embrace a greater wonder of who and what we are. Know that everything that unfolds in this hour that we spend together blesses, lifts up, and embraces us with a love that is so great that we automatically have the strength and energy and the willingness to step into who and what we are. So the joy of knowing that this hour is a blessing for everyone. It is a divine opportunity for the Spirit to reveal its beauty, its greatness, its wisdom, and its joy. So we say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The heartfelt appreciation to know that this is a blessing. As I open my mind and my heart, I welcome each one of us, each one, to know these truths, to know the truth of their own being, as we say together, And so it is. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And thank you for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this experience. Well, my name is Nancy Woods. I'm the assistant minister here, but I'm not assisting anybody right now, huh? So when I think about where we are in our growth and expansion and our experience, I know that we are all very open and receptive to the idea of newness right now. Because in that shift into being a new director, we are willing to open our hearts and minds and know when Spirit has delivered the right and perfect message, the right and perfect time, and right and perfect avenue through which to receive our blessings. So, this morning when I was kind of reading and getting ready to, know what Spirit was going to say through me, I had one of those good ones. I know probably everybody in here has had one of them good ones when it just like everything click. You say, oh, yeah. And then that moment is when you want to stay in. You should never mind what later on. Because I think that what I was reading and Rumi is one of my favorite ones that I read in the morning. And it's like you feel like you understand this philosophy to a certain extent, you know. And then all of a sudden it opens up and it gets bigger. And bigger is probably the inappropriate word, but more expansive. You just feel like you're more connected than ever. And so it was like, oh, this is so good. I just want to stay here. But one of the things that I have been experiencing, you know, I've been moving through this thing for the last couple of years. And I've been a caregiver, and I kept trying to figure out what in the world is going on. My sister, my brother, my nephew, my niece, I've been caregivers in 2 years. And I kept trying to figure out, well, what is going on with this? I mean, I love what I'm doing, and I love the experience. And so this last couple of months, I've been helping my niece, who is, thank God, moved through experience of myeloma. And it was just a joy the other day when I looked at her and I realized when she came to live with me, she's 61, so when she came to live with me when she was 18, bouncy, rosy. And I looked at her the other day, and she looked just like that. I said, wow, to go through what she has gone through and to look like she looked, and she's smiling. And I got a picture on the wall, and I said, wow, she's looking like she looked when she was 18. She looks that good. So I said, okay, I'm finished with this. I think I don't want to be controlling, or I don't want to be the caregiver for a while. Let me just rest. And all of a sudden, it was like, oh, I had to let it go. But it was so much that I gained during this experience that I no longer feel like I need to control. I no longer feel like I need to fix. I no longer feel like I had to direct people how to live their lives. And I said, wow, that was a whole lot. When you've been in this philosophy as long as I have and you learn some big ones like that, it's like, whew, when am I going to get there? But it was really a sweetness then this morning when I realized that it was a part of the process of my growth and my understanding that Spirit was guiding me through each one of those experiences, that I may learn and that I may grow into understanding that it is enough to just be me. I can just love Nancy. And it's kind of nice. When I was sitting on that couch, I said, oh, yeah, I don't have to do nothing else. It's easy to just be me. It's a whole new world. And I don't know how else to share that this philosophy, and probably most of the people out here already know this, but this philosophy is awesome. You can really understand what the infinite process is about. You keep growing and expanding and understanding and awareness. And we are some awesome people. And this happened, stepping in from this caregiving thing into this role that we are doing right now where we're replacing our minister. And I love my minister. I love Brother Mike. But we've been given a divine opportunity as a church, as a group. We've been given a divine opportunity to step into something new. And I thought about the whole thing we talked about last month, living on the edge. We're on the edge, you guys. And I'm very grateful because not only have I been set free to love myself, but I can also love my environment, my community, who is people are really trying to figure out, okay, who we going to get? Where we going to go? What we going to step into? So I'm not on this journey by myself. We all loving ourselves and knowing that we deserve the best. Yep. And we're quite willing to accept the best. Thanks.
You're on.
Every morning, the light keeps getting brighter as I wake up to the truth. Every day, I'm feeling so much lighter, and the world seems fresh and new. What I was taught and the way I thought stopped serving me long ago. Well, I'm learning to trust in the God of all of us. Each day I start anew, and so I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to confusion. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to confusion. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to confusion. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to confusion. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to confusion. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to confusion. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to confusion. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to confusion. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to confusion. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to confusion. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to confusion. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to confusion. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to confusion. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to confusion. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to confusion. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to confusion. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to confusion. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to confusion. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to confusion. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to confusion. I'm walking away from the path that le Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to the sadness. Today is the day I walk away. Every day is the day I walk away. Every morning it brings a new beginning. By grace another day to be. And I awaken to the sun upon me shining, lighting the way for me to see the things that I sought and the way I thought. It stopped serving me long ago. Well, now I'm learning to trust in the God of all of us. Of yesterday, I'm letting go. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the less that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that leads me to the sadness. Today is the day I walk away. Yes, every day is the day. Let every day be the day. Every day is the day I walk away. Yes, every day be the day. Every day be the day. Every day is the day I walk away. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. Love it. You are gifted.
Thank you.
So I'm supposed to do some announcements now. Practitioners are available. I bet you we got a whole lot of them in here today. Raise your hands. If you want a 2-minute tune-up and you want to bless one of these people, give them something to treat for. So step into something greater yourself, but bless the person that has the opportunity to help you do that. Oh, so this coming Tuesday, the full moon, we're going to have a full moon ceremony. It's worm moon. What is a worm moon? Anyway, they are having a service at 6:55. I know I love the people that's in it. But so come out and join them as they have this celebration this coming Tuesday. On March the 4th, Reverend Dr. Marine and myself have a discussion group. So if you want to talk about spirituality and how you live it, because I'm finding out there is probably for every person that's in existence, there's a way to live this philosophy, a different way. So it helps when we share how we understand it. On March the 15th, we are having our annual meeting. We pride ourselves on being open and transparent church. So Tuesday we discuss, the 15th, we're going to discuss that. We request that all our members try to come. It's going to be a wonderful opportunity to not only see where we are, but make some decisions. And we're going to take that opportunity to also we celebrate Dr. Mike's leaving. So if you want, come for the meeting. It's at 11:30, and see where we spent all the money. And also say goodbye to Reverend Mike. Catered lunch, by the way. Yes, so come and join us for that. We would appreciate it if you can. On March the 17th, Myrna Morales is going to start Spiritual Economics that's Butterworth's book, right? That book is a good book. It's a good class. And so in this time of trying to figure out your money, it might be a good class to take. She's going to do it in English starting the 17th. On the 18th, she has it in Spanish. So come out and sign up for the class. It's going to be online and in person. So if you want to experience it and see what she's doing. Myrna is one of our newest practitioners, and she's also one of our, she's going to be a minister in about a few months. June, I think it is. She will get her ministerial license. So, Barbara, you want to share our gratitude? What are we grateful for?
I'm grateful for everything. Okay, so I picked it out today, and it says, I'm grateful for this wonderful community.
Yes.
Yay.
Excellent. Couldn't be better. So you want to stand and say the Declaration of Principles with me? The things we live by.
One universal spirit, manifesting through all, natural and incarnated in us. We believe that the universal spirit is personal too, and reveals itself through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe that our faith operates upon a law of mind, which automatically manifests in our experience according to that faith. We believe in the unity of all life and the immortality of the individual soul, forever expanding. We believe in the eternal goodness, eternal kindness, and the givingness of life to all.
I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. I'm feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. I'm feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. Feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. My God is so good to me. Yes, I got up this morning singing, God is so good. Yes, I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. I'm feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. I'm feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. I'm feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. My God is so good to me. My God is so, my God is so, my God is so good to me.
Now, our special treat for today. And I get to introduce you to our speaker, Reverend Dr. Thor. How do you say your last name? Challgren. New Thought minister, TED Talk speaker. Explores consciousness, identity, and courage to begin again. Oh my God, don't we all need to do that one? Okay. He holds a doctorate in conscious studies and with a BA and MFA from UCLA, one of my favorite places. Dr. Thor brings a grounded, thoughtful approach to spiritual living, blending depth, humor, oh, I like the humor part, and practical wisdom for real life. So you want to give us our treat and help me welcome Dr. Thor.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't have to look at my picture the whole time. Thank you, Reverend Nancy. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Before we get started, I want to do something, and I do have a purpose to this. If you're willing and able, would you all stand up and giving a standing ovation for Jason this morning? What a treat that was. Now, you, of course, were already standing, so you might have just done it anyway, but I wanted to call that out, and I'll get to the reason why in a moment, not the least of which was that was an amazing performance that you gave us, so we appreciate that. This morning, I want to talk about events of the world, but not in the way that you think, and I'll get to that in a moment, but first, I want to, in case I am the first to share this news with you, we are celebrating something this year. Do you know what we're celebrating? Well, we are celebrating the 100-year anniversary of the first edition of the Science of Mind textbook. It came out in 1926. Of course, Ernest Holmes had been writing it and giving lectures throughout Southern California for the years before that, but this 1926 is when he first put it in writing. So this is the 100-year anniversary of what we think of as the foundational. So yeah, that's worth celebrating. Now, I don't know, most of us are probably familiar with the 1938 one, which of course takes the smaller, skinnier book and then makes it bigger because he adds more stuff, because why not? So it's over 600 pages, the one we're all used to, which looks like that. But if you've ever had an opportunity, I highly recommend going to Unity Village, which is in Kansas City, because at Unity Village, they have the Science of Mind archives. And they used to be in Colorado, but now they're at Unity Village along with the Unity archives, so you could actually get to see both of them there. It's an amazing experience to be there. They have the largest outdoor labyrinth in the world. If I could travel back in time, I feel like I would have gone back to convince Ernest Holmes to say, you just need to buy some land somewhere, trust me, buy it really cheap, and we'll build this whole beautiful campus, because the experience you get at Unity Village is incredible. But as I say, the Science of Mind archives has all of the books that they have been given, including this one that I have the little yellow arrow by. This is the actual earliest copy of the 1926 edition that they have. And you can go into this climate-controlled room and see this book. You could ask to touch this book, and they will say to you, no, you may not touch it. That's why it's in plastic. But you could look at this shelf, and this is a chronological representation of every copy of that book that they have. And so these are all the 1926 editions. It's really quite extraordinary to go and visit there. In fact, this is Ernest Holmes' original personal copy of the 1926 edition. It's in a display case. And what's cool about it is you can look and see, I don't know if you can see it right here, but you can see his handwriting of things that he wanted to change in the 1926 version to the 1938 version. A lot of times it was just things that were sort of written in a sort of florid way. He makes more plain. And then there are places where he just crosses things out. So this is fascinating to see. They've got a lot of his artifacts, his traveling suitcase. I highly recommend it. I've only ever spent a day there, but I feel like you could spend a week going through all of the things. And the people there are lovely and welcoming and inviting. But when I happened to be there, it was for a conference, not dissimilar to Asilomar. It's called Ampton. And Jason, this is actually Ricky Byers. And the reason it was fascinating, she was the musical director. And what was great was Ricky, I feel like she did her entire songbook, including one that you shared with us today, and one that I think we did last week, and I'll get to that in a second, but she was amazing. People just really loved seeing and hearing Ricky. But at this conference, there are a lot of people that get up and speak. It's a Monday through Friday conference where you have lots of speakers come up. You've got speakers morning, noon, night. They're all talking about different aspects. And during this, you get to hear different speakers. And at the end of every speaker's talk, some are 10 minutes, some are 15, some are longer, there's always a point where if you're sitting in the audience that day, you have to make a decision. And the decision often comes down to this. You're sitting there, remember you're sitting, and you have to decide, do I think, you're going to be applauding, but do I think that was worthy of what? Standing. Is it worth a standing ovation? So in that brief moment, we're making the decision as to whether or not we're going to stand for that. That's kind of funny to say it that way. But we make that decision, and it's funny because if you're in the audience there, and we've probably all gone through this, whether we're in this kind of conference or whether you're at a concert, you're trying to decide, what am I going to do? And you might look around and go, well, let's say Reverend Nancy's in front of me. If I see Reverend Nancy stand up, I'm going to be like, okay, I can go for it now because she's now said it's okay to stand. Whereas I might be thinking, well, if there's someone behind me here, let's say Andrea's behind me, and I don't want to block Andrea's view. So now I make the decision, no, I'm not going to stand because I don't want to do that. So what you're doing is you are looking around at the circumstances and conditions around you, trying to decide what you will allow yourself to feel in that moment.
Yeah.
And doesn't it feel good to give someone a standing ovation? It feels great, and I promise you, when this first occurred to me to be able to share with you, this is not self-serving at all. Not at all. But this idea of looking around at circumstances and conditions, we have a term for this, which is race consciousness. You're looking around at what everything else going around you says, and that's part of the subjective. It's part of the subjective of you have a thought, you put it into the subjective and go, okay, can I allow myself to do this? Is it okay for me to stand? Or will I be judged if I stand? Or will I annoy the person behind me? Or if the person ahead of me did it, I guess it's okay. In that moment, we're living our lives through what someone else says is okay for us to live, right? So Holmes had thoughts about this. He says, man comes into this life subjective to the race consciousness and to his own environment. And I read this as, when he says comes into this life, meaning any situation you're in, you could be subjective to race consciousness in that environment, or you could, he goes on and says this on page 197 in the same section, healing, meaning the way that you can live in a way that's whole for you, is accomplished by uncovering, neutralizing, and erasing false images of thought. So going back to that me standing there, if I'm worried about what other people are doing around me or what they'll think about me, or if I stand up and someone next to me goes, wow, Thor, like, he must be on another planet because that was not worth standing up. Now I'm in somebody else's head, not in my own head. And what he's telling us is you have to erase those false images. There was a speaker there who demonstrated this. And one of the things that's fascinating to me is what we're looking at in this moment is the difference between will and willpower. Holmes has something, and I always find if you look through the textbook and you see sections where he bolds the text, I always interpret that as he really, really wants you to get this. And he says about willpower, he says, willpower has nothing whatever to do with mental healing. So you thinking you can control circumstances, to your point, Reverend Nancy, about letting go. I love that beautiful message that you shared. The idea of thinking that I have to control the thing. That is willpower. That is me thinking I have to control that. Willpower, it's finite, and it can be exhausted. Whereas will, your ability to use your mind, is infinite and inexhaustible. We would rather be living from that place, from will. There was a speaker at the conference that I'm referring to, who he was one of the speakers that kind of had an unenviable time slot, which is after a meal, when everybody's sort of, you know, you're feeling a little bit good, happy, but maybe a little tired, maybe your attention and focus isn't there. And he had that time slot. In fact, I think he might have even been after someone who was not the most inspiring speaker. So a challenge. This speaker's name, and this shows you the power of someone that can inspire you, his name was Reverend Jomaine Mackenzie. Reverend Jomaine was from Jamaica, and he worked for the UN, and he gave a talk that day that was phenomenal. It was inspiring, it was funny, he gave us actionable things to do, he was engaging, and whatever energy that had been there before Reverend Jomaine's talk, he took it to the next level. And so Reverend Jomaine finishes his talk and basically says, I'm done. And in that moment, I swear, every single person in the room, there was no thought at all. Everyone just electrified, stood up. They didn't need to think about it. They just knew this was the kind of talk that you receive that makes you stand on your feet. So I started thinking about that at that point in time, like, what was the difference between Reverend Jomaine did and what everyone else did? I mean, he was a great speaker, so that was part of it. But that's when I started becoming fascinated by this idea of your decision-making about whether or not you would stand up. So this led me to think about, is there a tool or a way of thinking that I could use in the future that would simplify this for me so that I would never have to think about something like that? And so that led me to come up with this idea. Actually, I'm going to go backwards. So the title of the message that I want to share with you this morning is, I'm the kind of person who. For me, this is the tool, and I want to sort of unpack this for you. So I'm the kind of person who. My wife and I were recently on a cruise, and if you've been on a cruise, one of the things that you may be aware of is that, you know, you can go to the bar and get a drink, and if you think that you might enjoy that experience a little bit more than the average person, you could get a drink package, which means now you've removed all of the decision making, because now you could just go to the bar and have whatever you want, which isn't a bad thing necessarily, because now if you go to the bar, you're not thinking, well, I'd really like a pina colada, but it's $12, and now you're weighing in your mind, you're having to make that decision whether or not that's worth it. So this is what we faced, the experience that I had. But my own experience was, I go back 3 years to January of 2023. And in that month, I tried an experiment, which many people have done, called Dry January, where you decide for 1 month you were not going to drink. And I tried this, was successful, but one of the things that was most challenging to me in Dry January that year was a specific time of day? You guess what time that would be? 5 o'clock. Yes, exactly. I see other people are familiar with this. Why is that? 5 o'clock is the time at which I was used to having something to drink. It was the habit that I had been in where I would say, okay, this is the time of day. And so I realized what was happening was at 5 o'clock every day, I needed to have willpower. I needed to push myself through that and go, no, I'm not going to have that today. Fortunately, I had some tools at that time that I was using that month that got me through that, and that became much less of an issue going on. As I say, that was 3 years ago, and I kept going. And part of that was I decided at the time, and I didn't know it at the time, but I said, you know what? I'm the kind of person who doesn't drink. So like when we were on this cruise recently, my wife might have an occasional glass of wine or something like that, and they'd ask me if I wanted something, and I had no issue at all because I knew I'm the kind of person who doesn't drink. I didn't have to decide in that moment if I was going to make a different decision because I just knew that's who I am. So it removes the power of the having to decide. So the more that I thought about this, I wanted to develop something that would help me think about this as a tool. And so the first thing that I realized about this moment is when you say, I am the kind of person who, what you are doing is you're deciding. That is a decision. That is a statement of decision. You're saying, I'm the kind of person who does this. And that means you have decided something. And so we know from one of our books that we teach a lot, The Power of Decision, that when you say, I decide something, it's done. I don't have to think about it anymore because that's done. The second part of this is that I am now aligning my energy, who I am, with other people who do that. So I know, like in that moment, there are other people that don't drink. There are other people that do this thing that I wish to do. Let's say they're over here and there's an energy to those people. I am now aligning myself, my energy, my being with those people who also do that. So now, instead of just me, Thor, over here by myself trying to willpower it through, I now know I'm aligned with those people. And the third aspect of it is, since I know that those people exist, I can draw strength from them. And when we think about, we are individuated expressions of the infinite. When we remember who we are, we draw strength from that. So I can not only do that, but I can also draw strength from the people who have already done the thing that I want to do or who express themselves in a way that I want to express myself. So you might notice, just in case it's helpful, D, dad, exactly, D-A-D. So you decide, you align with that thing that you want, and then you draw strength from it. We might say, and the more that I thought about this, is that this is very much like an affirmation. Holmes says in one of the readings for this month, he says, when we use our creative imagination in strong faith, it will create for us whatever we have formed in thought. So that's what I'm doing here. When you say that, when I say I'm the kind of person who, I'm aligning in strong faith with that, and then the outcome is easy for me. As I say, I think this is very much like a spiritual mind treatment, because what you're doing, if you look at the first two words of the statement, I am, those essentially are the beginning of a treatment. You're saying there is a spiritual power that is in all, through all, as all, and I am that. I am the expression of that. I am the power of that. So when you say I am the kind of person who, that last part, that's your declaration of your treatment. If you use this kind of expression, you are treating for yourself every time. You say, I am the kind of person who does this. So if you were at any spiritual center in January, you know we will go through often the first 4 chapters of the Science of Mind textbook. The last week is how to use it. So it's fine to know all of this, but then the question is, how do we use it? How do we apply this in our lives? And so for me, I think about this year, and I'm going to ask you to think about something that you may want to do this year, and ask yourself, how do you want to be this year? I'll say that for me, one of the things that as I was thinking about the things that I want to accomplish this year, years ago, I trained to run the LA Marathon, which is next week. I will not be running in it this year. But I trained for that and injured my knee, so I couldn't complete it. And that was something that always sort of bothered me, that I hadn't completed that. So I started thinking about, well, what kind of I am statement could I use for that? And I realized I could say, I'm the kind of person who finishes things. And what that did for me was in those moments where I had to decide whether or not I had the willpower, I didn't need the willpower. In fact, one of the things that's fascinating, if you know anything about the idea of willpower, you'll often hear people say, we make X amount of decisions per day. There's one number that you'll see often, I don't think it's right, that we make 35,000 individual conscious decisions per day. I think that's overblown. I think they probably are like, I decide to touch this or I decide not to touch this. Because that would be 2 seconds per decision. I think a more logical number is also what I've seen, which is 70. So you make 70 conscious decisions per day. So you might, I'm not going to drink, or I'm going to go for a run. So when I say I'm the kind of person who finishes things, when I'm trying to decide, do I want to go out and run today, I don't have to decide that, because I just go, you know what, I'm the kind of person who finishes things. I'm going to go train for this thing that I've said matters to me. I said I was going to talk about events of the day, and one of the things that's interesting, if you're a guest speaker at a center and world events happen, sometimes you could have your talk prepared. You can know what you want to talk about, and then something happens in the world, and you now ask yourself, like I did yesterday morning, is that still the right message? Is there something else that I need to say? And I was thinking about that a lot. And as I journal about it, I thought about, if I was going to see me as a practitioner, what questions would I ask myself as a practitioner? And what I realized was, I realized the concern that I had, the issue that I had was, what if I don't know what to say? What if the thing I say is not right? And I realized that that's the concern I had, was that there would be words that someone would have, and they would be perfect words of how to talk about this, and that I wouldn't know them. And if you know in treatment and when you're working with a practitioner, one of the things in training practitioners we see often is almost every sort of mental cause or mental condition that you could have comes back to communication. That we don't always believe that we have the ability to communicate that. So what I did in that moment was I said, you know what? I'm the kind of person who knows what to say. When I thought of that, when I said, you know what? I don't know, I can't figure all this stuff out, but I do know that I know what to say. And part of that is you have to have some belief that underlines this, that is the bedrock of this. And I remember years ago when I was studying to be a practitioner, we had to do a stand and deliver, which is essentially your teacher is going to say, pick a book and say, that chapter, that paragraph right there, what does that mean? And on this particular occasion, the book that we were studying was Thomas Troward. See, you know you're in the Science of Mind church when everyone groans when they hear Thomas Troward. I looked at this, and if for those of you who don't know, he is, I now find I love Troward, but when you first read it, it can feel dense, it can feel challenging, and yet Thomas Troward's work was largely inspirational to Ernest Holmes. So it's important for us to know what he said in the early 1900s, because that's what led to where Ernest Holmes took the teaching. So I'm looking at this, and I remember thinking to myself, this is all in my head, when I'm asked to say, what does this paragraph mean? I thought, I don't know what this means. But if I did know, and then I said my answer. And it was largely correct. Thank goodness. But in that moment, I knew, and ever since then, whenever I had something that came up, whenever there was a stand and deliver or something where I'm like, I don't know the answer to this, but if I did know, and then I said it. That, to me, allowed me from that point forward to have the belief I'm the kind of person who knows what to say, because I have that reference point in the past that shows me that's true. So as you play with this, look for instances in your life where you can say, yes, this is true. Because what you do then is you take it from being something that's simply an affirmation that you can just repeat over and over, and maybe you don't necessarily believe, and now it's something that you go, yes. Going back to the Holmes quote about faith. Now that you have evidence for it, you can build on that evidence and have the faith that that's the case. So I mentioned a few of the examples that I am the kind of person who statements. I have created a handout. It's in the back. It sounds so clinical. I feel like I'm in a handout. It's in the back on the table, and it is a statement that has, or a document that has 100 different I am the kind of person who statements. So you could look at that and go, oh, there's one that I want to work on or play with. So I offer that as a gift this morning. I don't know that I have enough, but what I have done, and I can always, maybe I can prevail on Danny, but I also put it on my website. So if you go to my name, thorchallgren.com/kindness, as in, I'm the kind of person who, you can get this completely free. It's, you just download it. It's very simple. So that is my gift to you. And I always find it's interesting to me when people are like, oh, where was that? Because they've talked about it and found that I'm the kind of person who has been very helpful to them. I said I was going to talk about events of the day, and here's what I really mean. Events of the day, a week ago, the Winter Olympics ended. And I was just mentioning Thomas Troward. Thomas Troward said the point of life is this: joy. The purpose of life is joy. And so this was the Winter Olympics, and I'll tell you very briefly the story of, this is Alyssa Liu. Alyssa Liu won the gold medal in women's figure skating. And what was amazing about that night, this is Thursday night, a little over a week ago, she went out there and skated, and if you saw her program, it was brilliant. Like, she did things, she spun around on her knees on the ice. It was incredible. And what was fascinating about it was what happened after she did her performance. So the way that it works in figure skating is you do your performance, and then you go over and you sit on a chair. So in this case, she's now the highest score. So she's sitting here in a chair, and there are two other figure skaters that are going to go after her, both skaters from Japan. So she has to wait and see, is one of them going to be better than her? So she does this, she sits there, and the final skater, her name is Amy Nakai. Amy Nakai is 17 years old. She's 3 years younger than Alyssa. She does her program, and she comes and sits in it's like I think there's a term for it, like crying couch or something like that, because they cry either because you're excited or sad. So she's with her coach, she's sitting there, and she's waiting for the judges to come up with her score. And in a moment, the score comes up and on the TV in front of her. So she's here, she kind of sees it, and if you see the video of her, she's looking at it like trying to understand what the score means. Over here, Alyssa Liu knows exactly what the score means, because in that moment, she knew she had won the gold medal. And she turns around and hugs Amber Glenn, and they're, for a moment, hugging. And back over here, Amy Nakai doesn't turn to her coach. She turns to Alyssa Liu, and she throws up 3 fingers. She goes, am I third? Am I third place? And Alyssa Liu looks at her, and they both come together hugging each other in the most beautiful expression of joy. This, to me, many people were talking about, this was the moment of the Olympics. This is the moment that people go, this is what life should be about, that these two people were supporting each other. And I don't know this, but I have this theory that in that moment, Alyssa Liu, she just won the gold medal. She could have been celebrating for herself, her singular accomplishment of, I'm going to wear the medal. Here's my American teammate, we're celebrating. But what did she do? She goes over there and hugs and celebrates with the girl who just won the bronze medal. I think that's because she internally has the belief that I'm the kind of person who celebrates joy. I'm the kind of person who lifts up others. She didn't have to think about, oh, should I stand here because I won the gold and celebrate me? No, she just, without thought, went and hugged this other person. That, I believe, is what the power of having that kind of statement allows you to do, that instantaneously you get to go and experience that and express that feeling of joy because that's who you know that you are. This final picture after this is the three of them celebrating. It was a beautiful moment. And what many people have taken away from this Olympics was that the athletes, many of them, didn't see themselves as competitors. They saw themselves as one, that they were all in this together, that's what we teach, isn't it? A world that works for everyone. It was a beautiful moment. And look at, they're making a heart there. That's your homepage of your website. You, the people in this room, express that same feeling. So as I close here, I want to offer for you to ask yourself, where in your life can you say, I am the kind of person who? What could you do this year when you know that? Will you join me in consciousness? I know and I feel this love in this room. I know that this love is in all, through all. It is an energy that lifts up, that motivates, that brings life together. It lifts everyone up. And I know that I am the expression of that. I'm the beneficiary of that love, the beneficiary of everything that's beautiful. And I know that as I lean into that joy, as I know that joy for myself, as I feel it, that my joy radiates to others, that when I'm part of an expression of joy and hugging and that experience, that it lifts everyone up. And I know that's possible for me. I know that's possible for everyone who leans into that. And so I simply know that as I move through my day, I am looking for opportunities to be that kind of person, to be the kind of person who knows joy, who knows what's possible for me. And I know that is where we all can be, where we can look at our lives and say, I'm the kind of person who has joy, who has passion, who can choose anything that I want to do and know that it can be so for me. And so I'm so grateful for this, so grateful for the opportunity to share this energy with this room this morning, with these beautiful souls. And so I release my word as law, knowing that this perfect expression of the divine love of all, in all, through all, is perfect and complete. And we affirm this together by saying, and so it is. Namaste.
Thank you. And Jenny.
Yes. Want to go up? Let's go up.
Come on up. Share what you got.
Yeah, Leprechaun came over the weekend and decorated the room for St. Patrick's Day, and we were working on shamrocks and affirmations. So, how do I get heard? Oh, sure. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, can you say what is on your shamrocks?
I am happy.
And the other one?
I am blessed.
Okay. And then we have these.
Mine says something wonderful is out there waiting for me today. Let's get to it.
And I have flowers bloom for me.
Okay. And so we're working on a book that it is "'Tis a Fine St. Patrick's Day." We'll be working on that all month and working through spiritual ideas and pantomime and improvisation and art also. So thank you for listening to us. Bye.
Thank you, Jenny. And thank each one of you. And thank you all. Thank you. That was wonderful. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Jason? Thank you.
Okay.
The things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. Mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. The color of my eyes, I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age, my race, my soul inside. Well, I am light.
Now, you know that the spirit had to be in connection when you...
I heard that this morning.
Yeah. It's just awesome when the harmony of spirit brings the talk and the music and the energy. It's just fantastic. I love it. Oh, so, Chloe, would you bring our giving basket up here? Our giving time for, and we appreciate any and all support. So you want to hold your gifts in your hand and say these words with me. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of my center, knowing that it returns to me in multiplied abundance. So you actually come up and bless our basket and with your gift. We will.
Spirit gives through me, Spirit receives through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit gives through us, Spirit receives through us, Spirit lives and breathes through us. Spirit lives and breathes through us.
Thank you. Thank you for your gifts, your blessings to this center. We consider ourselves a center of love. And love is shown in many ways. And we thank you for participating in it in this way. And whether you do it online or in person, thank you for your blessings. And know that we, in our hearts, are very, very grateful for any and every gift that is given. The blessing as well as the physical gift. So with love and joy in our hearts, we say thank you. Thank you. Now, I get to bless you out. And thank everybody for participating. And thank you for, it was wonderful. Thank you. And thank you, Jason, for being such a gift to us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And I have to thank our wonderful guys sitting in the back, Ian and Evan, as they share our gift of being here with the world. As for our online. And if you haven't been here before, thank you for coming to join us. And thank you for the gift of your presence. So with love and understanding, I am the kind of person that appreciates and loves being in this environment and this consciousness and this place devoted to the greatness of being in each and every one of us. So together we acknowledge it as we say, and so it is. So join us for the peace song.
Yeah, please join me in singing the peace song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as the power, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally.